Once upon a time, in a quiet little village nestled between silver hills, winter had arrived like a soft song. Snow lay deep upon the fields, sparkling beneath the pale moon, and the pine trees stood proud and still, dressed in white. In a small cottage on the edge of the forest lived a boy named Finn. He was a bright child with curious eyes and cheeks red from the cold. Every winter he waited for the first snow as though it were a dear friend returning home. One morning, when snowflakes danced down like tiny feathers, Finn ran outside and began to build. He rolled the snow into great round shapes, stacking them tall and firm. He gave his snowman a carrot for a nose, a smile made of coal, and two shiny buttons from his mother's sewing box around the snowman's neck. He tied his own wool scarf, blue as the evening sky. "There," said Finn, stepping back proudly. "Now you won't be cold." The snowman stood silent, his button eyes glimmering in the sunlight. Finn smiled and stayed beside him until dusk fell and the stars began to blink awake. That night, when the world was quiet and the snow lay smooth as silk, something magical stirred. The clock struck midnight, and a single star above the cottage twinkled brighter than all the rest. Its light fell upon the snowman's heart, and in that very moment he breathed. The snowman blinked, his coal eyes glowing gently. He looked down at his twig hands, then at the moonlit sky. "Oh," he whispered, his voice as soft as frost, "I'm alive." He turned and saw the little cottage. Inside, Finn slept peacefully by the fire, his dreams filled with snowy hills and bright adventures. The snowman smiled. "Thank you, little one," he said, bowing his snowy head. Then, as if guided by the wind itself, he tapped at the window. Finn stirred, blinked, and gasped. "Snowman," he whispered, running to the door. The snowman nodded. "Come, Finn, the night is waiting." Without a thought, Finn pulled on his boots and mittens. Together they stepped into the shining world of midnight. The snow sparkled like diamond dust beneath their feet. The air hummed with something secret and sweet. They ran through the silent village, past sleeping cottages and twinkling icicles. The snowman's laughter sounded like bells, and Finn's like a song. At the edge of the forest, they found deer with crowns of frost, foxes that danced in circles, and owls who bowed their snowy heads in greeting. "Where are we going?" Finn asked, his eyes wide with wonder. "To the North Wind's meadow," said the snowman. "There, all the winter folk gather when the world dreams." They walked until the trees thinned and the sky opened wide. Before them stretched a field of snow so pure it shimmered like glass. All around, snowflakes spun in tiny whirlwinds, and from the clouds came figures made of ice and starlight. Snow maidens, frost sprites, and white bears with eyes like amber lamps. The snowman took Finn's hand, and they began to dance. The wind lifted them, and they twirled higher and higher, until they were flying above the forest, above the rooftops, above the entire world. "Look!" cried Finn, laughing with pure joy. "The village looks like a toy from up here, and the stars," said the snowman softly, "look close enough to touch." They soared together, their shadows gliding over moonlit rivers and sleeping valleys. The snowman showed Finn the frozen waterfall that sang like a harp, and the mountains that sparkled with hidden lights, the homes of ancient frost kings. For hours they wandered through the sky until the first hint of dawn touched the clouds with pink and gold. "I must go," the snowman said gently, his voice now sounding like melting snow. "When the sun rises, I'll fade away." Finn's smile trembled. "Will I ever see you again?" The snowman bent down and placed a cold twig hand on Finn's heart. "As long as you remember me with warmth, I will live right here. That is the magic of winter. It never truly leaves those who love it." Finn nodded, blinking away his tears. "I'll remember." The snowman smiled. "Then that is enough." As the sun rose, the snowman began to shimmer. His scarf fluttered in the wind, his eyes glowed one last time, and then he was gone, melting into a silver mist that drifted up toward the morning sky. Finn stood alone in the quiet meadow. Only the scarf lay in the snow, glistening with tiny drops that looked like tears. He picked it up and wrapped it around his own neck. It was still cold, but somehow he felt warm inside. When Finn returned home, the village was just waking up. The world seemed brighter, as though the snow itself carried a secret. He looked out his window one last time and smiled, and in the distance, upon the hill, a faint figure made of sunlight and snow seemed to wave goodbye. From that day on, whenever the first snow fell, Finn would run outside, build a snowman, and whisper, "Welcome back, my friend." And though the snowmen never spoke again, the stars always seemed to shine a little brighter on those nights, as if keeping watch over a promise made in winter's heart. Because magic, you see, lives wherever kindness does. And a heart that gives warmth can bring life even to the coldest of snow. Thank you so much for watching. If this story warmed your heart, please give this video a like and subscribe for more tales. We'll see you in the next one.